Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is Thursday, October the 22nd. My name is Theo, your host for the next hour. On the program today, live from the CHMR Radio Station at the campus of Memorial University of Newfoundland, I am joined by two fourth-year players from Memorial University's female basketball team. The first is Carolyn Adams, who is from our nation's capital in Ottawa, Ontario. She plays the guard position. The second is Katherine Vanden Elzen, who is from Mount Bridges, Ontario, and plays the forward position. The women's university basketball team just returned to the Rock from their final invitational tournament of the preseason. That was held in Queen's University in Kingston, Ontario. The team came up a little bit short after facing some of the top contenders in the OUA, but they returned with an 0-3 record on the tournament. However, it should be noted that the two of their losses, there was just a difference of 3 points or less. New head coach Mark English and his Lady Hawks are looking at all of the positives as they continue to grow in this very much transition year. With that being said, folks, this is Varsity Life. Welcome, ladies, to the show. It is my pleasure to have you here.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us, Theo.
Welcome. So just before we get into all this conversation that we're going to have, and we have a full hour's worth, folks, I have a couple quick things that I need to say in terms of a recap of what happened last weekend and a brief outlook on what's going to be happening this coming weekend for the Seahawks. All right. So the Memorial women's soccer team went 1 win and 0 losses and 1 draw in their weekend series against the UNB Varsity Reds. Memorial and UNB battled to a 0-0 draw in the first game of their set, and on the second game, which was the next day, it looked as if it would go the same fashion, but they scored in the 89th minute to get the win. Memorial's men's soccer team lost both matches to a very strong UNB squad. Memorial lost to the Varsity Reds by a score of 6-2 on Saturday, followed by a 6-1 loss on Sunday. Memorial's cross-country team participated in an invitational race in Moncton last weekend. The top 3 finishers for the male 8-kilometer race were Connor Bolton, Matthew Power, and Seamus Boyd Parker. Overall, the team finished 4th, just missing a podium position. For the women's 6-kilometer race, Evangeline Fletcher, Victoria Healy, and Anna Montgomery were the top 3 Memorial finishers. Memorial men's basketball team, they also traveled to Ontario for a 3-game trip and finished 1-2 on the whole trip. Friday night, we saw the Seahawks top the Guelph Gryphons by a score of 78-77. The Seahawks lost on Saturday to the Laurier Golden Hawks by a score of 102-90, and then came up short again to the Ryerson Rams by a score of 103-89. And the girls of the hour, the team of the hour, the Seahawks, the women's basketball team, ended their 3-game preseason road trip with an 0-3 record against some of the top programs in the OUA. Friday saw the Seahawks lose to the Carleton Ravens by a score of 76-73. On Saturday, the Seahawks were topped by the Guelph Gales, 94-62. And finally, on Sunday, the Seahawks were beaten by UQAM, 60-58. For more details on this recap, folks, please visit www.goseahawks.ca. Coming up this coming weekend, very briefly, the Memorial Seahawk men's and women's soccer teams will face the St. FX X-Men and X-Women in AUS action at King George V Park. Both are in a playoff race and very much going to be an entertaining set of games. Memorial's volleyball teams will both participate in Interlock this weekend, with the women traveling to Montreal and the men who are off to Halifax for a series of matches. And with that, folks, that is pretty much your entire recap. Let's get right into this, and we're back now with Carolyn Adams and Katherine Vanden Elzen. So, first off, let's get to know you guys just a little bit, okay? Considering this is both your first times on the show, I'd like for both of you to take a moment or two and just give us a little bit of information about where you come from and how you first got involved with basketball. I'll shoot it to you, Katherine, first.
Okay. Well, I'm from a small town called Mount Bridges, which is just outside of London, Ontario. And I grew up on a tobacco farm. Yeah. And I got into basketball probably when I was in grade 3, I believe. Before that, my 2 older sisters both played. And I just remember at halftime I'd always want to go out and shoot baskets during their games and stuff. So I really wanted to play it when I was younger. Played all the way through all the way through high school and everything, and then was recruited in my grade 12 year to come play here. I decided to take 1 year off because in Ontario we sometimes do a 5th year, so I took a 5th year, and then I came after that year to come play here.
Thank you, Carolyn. Let's hear a little bit about you.
I'm from Ottawa, Ontario, and I started playing basketball in grade 3 too, I think. It's funny. I had a neighbor named Joe, and we had just moved into a new house, and he had like a makeshift basketball net in his driveway, and he always would come to my door and be like, does Carol want to come shoot? So we'd always shoot around and stuff. So that's how I got started playing, which is funny. And then my mom signed me up for house league, which was even funnier because I used to bawl my eyes out before every Saturday when I had to go, and I would just screech and be like so nervous and not want to go at all, and then I'd always come back an hour later being like, oh my gosh, that was so much fun. But every Saturday it was the same thing. Doesn't matter, the next Saturday she'd be like, okay, time to go, and I'd be like, no, and be so sad. But like it was always super fun afterwards. So then that was a year of house league, and then same thing with Kath. Like I just played throughout high school. Our high school team wasn't very good. We never went to OFSAR or anything like that. And then I got recruited in grade 11, which is thanks to Bruce Watson, actually, because he's friends with my mom, and he used to be a math prof here at MUN, and he was just talking to Doug at the time, and he said, oh yeah, like there's a little point guard in Ottawa, like she wants to play university ball. So like it's really thanks to him, actually, and Doug, obviously. But so then Doug recruited me, and yeah, and then I came and played here.
Very nice. Well, okay, that was great. We do have to go to a quick commercial break. There are a couple things that I really want to just ask about, being like OFSA and then the whole deal with the 5th year, because many of us here in Newfoundland, we don't know what that means. Mm-hmm. So for those of you who are tuning in, welcome to the show. We will be right back after these quick commercial breaks. All right, do stay tuned. Welcome back, folks. 5:11 is the time immediately right now. Before we get back into our conversation with Katherine and Carolyn, I want to let you guys know very quickly who are our Memorial University Athletes of the Week. The female athlete of the week is Claire Skanes, a soccer player who studies engineering and is in the 2nd year of her eligibility. She had a really strong play on the road this past weekend at UNB. According to her head coach, Skanes led the team to 2 consecutive shutouts against the Varsity Reds, who were AUS Championship finalists last season. Skanes has proven to be a very important defender for Memorial thus far. Look for her to have a few more of these as the season goes on. Caleb Gould is our male athlete of the week. He plays basketball and is in his 5th year of business administration. He had a very strong showing this past weekend in Ontario. According to head coach Peter Benoit, Gould turned in a series of all-star performances against a very strong competition from the OUA conference. The 5th year forward from Aurora, Ontario, averaged 27 points, while serving as the main focus of the opposition's defense in all 3 contests. Memorial opens their season at the Fieldhouse on November the 7th against St. Mary's. And there you have it. Those are your athletes of the week. So moving right back into our conversation with Carolyn and Katherine, who are student athletes from our women's basketball team. They were mentioning a couple things, and I very quickly want to go and address them. Tell us the deal, Katherine, about what is this 5th year that you can do in high school in Ontario?
Well, we used to have grade 13, and then they took that away I don't know how many years ago. But then they also still gave the option for students to come back for a 5th year after they graduate grade 12 to finish, like just to get a couple courses or like build up their credit hours and boost up their GPA so that it looks better for university. The reason why I did it, I graduated in grade 12, but I just wasn't sure of what I wanted to do after high school. So that 5th year kind of just let me just take up a couple credits. So I did a co-op and I did a sociology course for my first semester. And then second semester, I left school and I worked for a good part of the year to make some money before I came to university.
Okay. Okay. And Carolyn, what is OFSA? You mentioned OFSA.
Kath, what's OFSA? What does it stand for? I don't even know. Ontario.
That's a really good question.
Yeah, OFSA is like
it's like all of Ontario finals for high school basketball.
Yeah,
or for high school sports in Ontario.
So Kath's team went.
Yeah,
like
my team went twice. So when I was in grade 11 and grade 12, we went. Basically, you have to win your conference. So like our conference was called WASA, so Western Ontario Secondary School Athletics or Association, I can't remember. But you have to win your section in order to move on to OFSA. And it's kind of like the big final tournament in Ontario. Yeah,
for high school.
Yeah.
And I never went, that's all.
Okay. Well, I want to move into your guys' involvement in the community because just a couple weeks ago I had on several of the women's volleyball team members, and they spoke about their involvement in the community, specifically how they traveled to several rural communities in Newfoundland and held an inter-squad match plus a camp, in fact, one day after another. And as well, this past weekend they had their first annual Burger King Eastern Canadian Challenge, which aimed to celebrate women's volleyball in the community. Big stuff. Now, as far as I'm aware, your team happened to partake in the Terry Fox Run, which, for those of you who don't know, the Terry Fox Run is a non-competitive event where people get together as individuals, families, and groups to raise money for cancer research in Terry's name. It's a day of celebrating Terry's legacy and helping to keep alive the dream of finding a cure for cancer. So it's a great cause. But I want to shoot it to you, Carolyn, and just tell us a little bit about what your team's involvement was on that day.
So we went to Terry Fox on the Sunday, and basically we got put in like little groups of 3 or 4, and then we were positioned around Long Pond. Is that where it was?
Kitty Vitty.
And we had signs. There was 2 signs. Each group had like a question sign and an answer sign, and we would just cheer on people as they were running by or walking by, and like for the ones that we could catch if they were running or not, whatever, and like ask them the question on the sign, and then they would guess the answer, and then we'd flip over the other poster and it would have the answer on it. So specifically me and Katherine were in a group, and we were really loud. That's all I really remember. We were really good at cheering people on and being positive.
People said they could hear us across the pond.
Yeah, so it was good. Like, and there was like all of us in different little groups around the pond, so it was good. It was fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Tell us just a little bit about what it was like, other than being fun, just being part of a grand community event, specifically being for such a large organization, the Terry Fox Run, Katherine.
It's a great experience because like being able to give back to our community. When we get so much support from the community, being basketball players, we get lots of people come out to our games, a lot of people buying our swag, a lot of people just supporting us in general. Being able to give back is a really good feeling, and it's fun to do as a group because we'd be able to bond together as teammates, but also being able to be out with the community and have them see us like giving back and everything. It's a good feeling. It really is.
Yeah. And it's not just your team that participates, it's pretty much the entire Seahawks family.
Yeah.
So Carolyn, just let our listeners know a little bit what it's like being, not just amongst your own team, but amongst the entire Seahawks family for such a good cause, what it's like.
It's good knowing that everybody's like contributing and, like Kat said, getting our faces out there and really trying to say thank you back to the community too, because like she said, we actually do get so much support from everyone, especially in St. John's. Like, it is really community based, so it's really good. And like, I know the men's team, like, we're walking or running. They were walking it, I think. I mean, they might have been running.
No, I think they're walking. I'm pretty sure they're walking.
But they, they went through, and it was good to just see them too, and see everybody there supporting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Every year during the spring and summer months, your team hosts the so-called Spring League, and as well as the summer basketball camps for girls ranging from the young age of 7 all the way up to those who are 16 years old. For those of you who are listening and don't know, there are 4 weeks of camps which occur twice a month, as they alternate each week with the boys' camps that happen in the months of July and August. The summer camp, as stated on the registration form, is designed to allow all participants the opportunity to experience basketball at their level. From beginner to the advanced, instructions will be provided and attention paid to all aspects of the game, as well as an opportunity to socialize, have some fun, and play basketball. So, Katherine, I just want to know, what was your experience like mentoring many of these young kids in the basketball camps?
I actually have never done the summer camps. I was here the summer after my second year, and I did help out with like the spring league, so the after school league that we did with young girls, and there was boys teams too. Because the other months I was in school, so I couldn't help out with camps. But spring league was like a really fun experience, because it's all these young kids. They just want to be out there having fun, learning basketball, and they look up to like us girls and the guys on the team who play, and it's just, I don't know, it's just a lot of fun, and seeing the kids improve over the weeks, and then when you get to the final tournament or like the final the championships or whatever, it's fun to see the excitement and how excited they are to be at the finals. And I don't know, it just reminds me of when I was younger and would do camps and leagues like that, and it's just cool to see. Yeah.
Carolyn, what's your take? Have you done any of these camps? If so, let us know a little bit about it.
I never got to do spring league, but I did do 2 summers of the summer camps, and they were really fun too. Like Kat said, like a lot of the kids really look up to you, and so like it's really important that you like can show them how fun basketball is, and like how it's good to learn new stuff about basketball, and like it's fun going to the games and seeing them there too, and they're all like excited to see you and wave and stuff, and you're like, oh hey, you're so cute, you know, like but yeah, and I really liked the setup too of the summer camps. They're really it's good because you learn. Like, we do basketball stuff in the morning, and then they have lunch, and then they have a swim, which was, like, sweet, because I think it's a good way to break in the middle of the day, is, like, have a nice swim, you know, like, get out some more energy, because they all have so much energy, and then we play games in the afternoon, and then they go home. So, like, that was really a good way to balance the day, I found. Yeah, it was fun. For 2 years I did that. Yeah. And it was, an elite camp. So there's this thing at the end of the summer called elite camp. So basically it's like invitation, and they get asked to come to the camp, and then it's just more developing kind of. It's like for the older players, so it's a lot of the older girls in our case. But what's funny about it is that I remember like girls who are on my team now being in that elite camp when we were running it. Yeah. So it's weird. You're just like, oh hey, like I remember you, like I was your coach in elite camp like 2 years ago. So it's weird seeing them now, but it's awesome obviously. But it's cool that like we started developing, and then you know what I mean. You get to see them like improve and like be older and now be part of us. You know, like it's cool.
For those that don't end up taking that route and getting to, you know, actually make the team, what type of an impact do you feel like you have on them as young, you know, attendees of these camps or spring leagues? Katherine, what do you have your thoughts on that?
So you're like, for the girls that don't end up playing?
Yeah, what type of an impact do you think that you have on their, you know, young basketball careers?
Well, it just gives them motivation to keep playing, and whether they make it to like a higher level or not, but just to keep the fun in playing basketball. I think that's really important to remember, because sometimes we take it too seriously where basketball gets stressed out, but it shouldn't be like that. Basketball is supposed to be fun. So for us to show the girls that it can still be fun, you can still go out there, work hard, but have fun at the same time, it's really important to send that message to young girls.
Mm-hmm. Carolyn, being in this state of role model and potential coach, right, in these camps, is it different to convey a message or to be yourself rather than just being a player or participant in one of these camps?
No, I would say that it's like, what do you mean?
Specifically, when you participate in a camp, you just follow the whatever the plan of the day is, and even in these elite camps, you're a good basketball player, someone who's really trying to get better and they're working on their craft, but you are as well. And just want to know, what are your thoughts on the difference of actually being in that position of working versus being in the position of actually coaching in these camps? Do you know what I mean? Catherine, do you know what I mean?
So,
okay, well, for me, let me just answer my own question then. I feel that it's a struggle, in fact, to be in the coaching position, because you learn things a specific way to you, but the way that you coach other people really doesn't go the same way. Different people have different learning patterns, and they seriously can't maybe just get what you're saying, but you're completely qualified and you can do the skill perfectly. Yeah. Is it frustrating? Do you come up across that?
I understand what you mean now. I wouldn't say, I guess sometimes it's frustrating. I think it's important, like you said, to know your learners, obviously, because kids obviously don't all learn the same way, which is totally important, like in any aspect of life. Everybody learns differently, but as I think kind of what you mean is, like, I got taught how to shoot the basketball one way, like back in Ontario, for however long I played there, 10 plus years, and then I came here and I got taught a different way, and then I had to teach the kids at camp that way, like the most recent way that I was taught, and so that kind of like tripped me up a little bit, because I was trying to stick with what I had just learned and saying, this is how you're supposed to properly shoot a basketball, but it was different from what I had learned originally, so I feel like there's a little bit of struggle when it comes to things like that.
Yeah, I remember that too. Right? But also the whole thing about knowing how to coach someone, that comes with time. So stepping into camps, if you tell a kid what to do, like a way of correcting something they're doing, they may not get it right away, and you may not understand that unless you've coached them before. So that's kind of hard for us to step into a position like that too, I guess, without knowing how they respond to criticism and how they take things and if they understand it completely the first time or not.
Yeah, very well put. That's generally where I was trying to go with that one. Generally speaking, has there ever been a former athlete, Catherine, in your life while being a younger athlete and attending one of these camps? Has there ever been someone that was such a great figure that you aspired to be and then helped you go on the path of becoming a basketball player, or not so much?
I don't know, not so much in that sense, like of having someone that's way older than me, but being the youngest girl of 4 kids. I have 2 older sisters, and they both played basketball. And I think, especially when you're younger, you want to be like your older siblings, right? And they really were like encouraged me to keep playing, kind of thing. That was kind of like my inspiration to keep playing. And when we got in the older years, when my sister Marika and I were playing a lot in high school, we kind of like encouraged each other to keep playing and to go to practice and, like just to continue it up. There was never really, I only did camps a couple summers when I was younger. I was just busy at home, I guess, but there was never really that significant person I can think of besides my 2 older sisters, and when I was younger I wanted to be like them, so yeah.
That's typically the way it goes when you're one of the younger siblings. Last point on this theme. Generally speaking, you may have some of your teammates listening right now, and for those of us, you both are in your 4th years. I played 3 years myself, and I'm in graduate school now, so I kind of know the benefits of attending some of these camps and being a coach while actually still being a player. Is there anything that you would say just to entice or to convince some of your young teammates on the benefits of just being part of the camps during the summertime? It's open to either of you.
Well, I mean, I know we stress fun a lot. Basketball is more than, fun, but it is really fun way to spend your summer. You get to socialize with the kids, you get to meet new people, learn new things, learn different ways to learn things, like the shooting.
I don't know, it's a good leadership role to take on, right?
Yeah.
Like, to be a positive influence for young kids in the community. That's a good position to be in, especially as the younger girls in our teams, like the first years, second years. When they keep playing, if they can continue to play through the years, they'll have these young kids looking up to them because they've gotten to know them through seeing them at camp, seeing them every day. So it is a good thing for the younger ones to participate in. And also, you are working with the men's team too, so you get closer with people on the men's team, and I don't know, it's a good way to get to know people and put your face out there.
Totally. One of the last things I want to say on this is you have all of these different interrelations between yourselves, and you're still trying to get your pretty much a pretty young team. There's only 3 of you that are
that's for sure
older than third year, and in this transition period, I feel like having more opportunities to see each other grow in adverse situations, I think, is totally something that you guys can really benefit from. But that's all I have to say, other than the fact that you as well, you guys are not from Newfoundland, Labrador, but I can seriously say that the young kids are really appreciative having the opportunity to have your interactions, because it's not every single day where Newfoundland is just St. John's rather is 150,000 people, and you guys come from the province of Ontario, which is how many millions?
A bit more.
Yeah.
Just a bit more. So with that, folks, we're going to move into a commercial break. Do stay tuned. You guys are listening to the Varsity Life, and we're going to be talking about a couple things about how these girls do their team building, how they prep for the season, and we'll move into their performances that they've been having throughout their preseason. So do stay tuned. We will be back in a moment or two. Welcome back, folks. 5 o'clock, 32 minutes past the hour, here from the CHMR studios at Memorial University. Before the break, Katherine and Carolyn and we were speaking about their impact on the community and how they've been doing thus far with it. I had a quick tweet, and actually one of the many followers from the Seahawks, Jason Rice, he sent me a direct message on Twitter, and it was about the confusion beforehand about OFSA. What does it stand for? Ontario Federation of School Athletic Associations.
Good job.
Thanks, Jason.
Way to go. Thanks.
That's the equivalent to school sports NL.
Yes.
So
cool.
In Ontario, as well. Griffins, I said it, but it's pronounced Griffins.
Griffins, yes.
So thank you very much, Jason, for that.
Thank you.
Do keep on supporting any mess-ups that I say. Please come and send them my way. Nevertheless, we are back, folks, and I want to keep this thing moving. Your team is developing a little bit of a reputation amongst the Seahawks community as the program that is having the most exciting team bonding activities.
That's debatable. The guys had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Well, specifically, almost 1 year ago to the date, in fact, your team participated in what was an impromptu car wash.
Oh, that was so fun.
That was fun.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about what this experience was like and what it did for your team as a whole. Or if anything, if it was just like impromptu and there was nothing more.
Well, do you remember the ALS bucket challenge?
Ice
bucket challenge.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, so we were nominated, I believe, by Judy Byrne, to do the Ice Bucket Challenge, and it raised money for ALS research. And so we ended up doing it as a team. We did it to our coach and our, like the rookies.
Yeah.
And after that, we like put it on Facebook, whatever, and then we decided to do a car wash to raise more funds for ALS. And I think
we raised a lot of money.
We raised a lot of money
in like 2 hours.
In 2 hours, we probably raised close to $800.
Yeah,
$800. So. It was amazing. It was by donation too. So we just made signs. People stood by the road. Can't remember where it was. It was a Torbay Road. It was a gas station. Yeah, but yeah, we just had signs on the road just saying there was a charity car wash, and people came by and donated like 20s at a time. We would do the whole. One person would wet it down. A couple people would soap it up. Another person would wash all the soap off, and it was just, I don't know, it was a lot of fun. Our team really bonded. I felt like after that day we started becoming closer with some girls you didn't know, because just participating in something like that is really a good thing to do and fun for the team.
You have to work as a team too, though, right? Because like you had some people who had hoses and some people who had buckets and some people, we also got cookies. I remember some woman came and brought us cookies, which was really nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, we raised a lot of money. It was definitely a successful. That actually was a really fun day. Like
it was.
I remember that very well because it was good. That's fun.
Yeah.
More recently, your team participated in a local sort of event. It's called Breakout NL, which is akin to the popular online strategy point-and-click flash game series on addictinggames.com called Escape the Room. And your team, generally speaking, has to piece together a series of clues and solve puzzles in order to break out of a locked room in 45 minutes. I'm sure everyone who's listening right now has heard of it. Now, I imagine this is a great deal of fun, but I can imagine it could have been quite an interesting experience as well.
High anxiety.
For some, yeah.
Carolyn, you want to let us in a little bit about that? What was going on there?
We were put into little groups because you can only have, I think, 4 people in a room. So we all went to different rooms. My group was in the magician's room. I can't say anything about it, but like what was in it. But yeah, it was a lot of teamwork as well. It was good because everybody noticed different things in the room. Like just because we're all different people, so we all pick up on different things, and so like if you put that all together, then we eventually got the next clue. But like I remember there was other people who like saw stuff that I wouldn't have seen had they not been in my group. So it was good team bonding for sure.
It was, yeah, a lot of fun. It was because Mark put us in our groups, and he strategically did it because he put us with girls that you're not used to, or we wouldn't know as well. Like I was with a couple girls that I didn't know as well, and so it forced you to, I don't know, get to know them and work together as a team and learn how each other work together and everything. It was fun. Well,
typically, like in order to break out, your team really requires a good mix of puzzle people, brainy kind of people, lateral thinkers. Was there anyone that you were really surprised by, or did you expect everyone to be where you thought they were?
Yeah, like I expected the people. I expected the people that are pretty brainy to be very, to figure things out, and it was good.
Did you guys surprise yourselves? Because it's one of those things where you don't really ever have to be tested, but if you didn't know it before, then you'd surprise yourself and say, hey, I made all these connections that I never ever saw would happen. Did you guys experience that, or was there anyone that you know? Because I think these type of things can carry over onto the basketball court in terms of getting to know yourself. What do you think?
I didn't notice anything too specific. Like, yeah, I didn't really notice anything.
Fair enough. On your last trip, on your last trip to Ontario, I guess you guys went down to Niagara Falls, and you guys had a lot of fun from what I saw. If anyone's following Mun Athletics on Instagram, they have a fantastic photo that they retweeted from a few of the girls who went to the Nightmare Fear Factory. This is I've been talking about this ever since it came out. So, yeah, it's a great deal of fun. You guys can go and check it out on Mun's Instagram page, the Seahawks specifically. But what did you guys do? Because I know that you kind of all went on different groups and you guys tried different things.
Yeah.
I want to throw it to you, Katherine. Carolyn,
LT, Siniazical, and I, we just started walking the strip. And then we saw the big Ferris wheel, or the sky wheel that kind of gives you a really nice view looking over the fall. You can see like far from the falls. And so we went on that, and that was a lot of fun. It's funny because when we got up there, we were all kind of scared in a way because, I don't know, one point you were sitting still, but the thing kept swinging back and forth, and it was just a kind of sensation we had to get used to. But then when we got off, we saw the picture upload of them being all scared, and we were like, compared to how we were so scared up there compared to them, it was fun. But we just walked around. We
got fudge.
We got some fudge. Oh yeah, we got some fudge.
Some really yummy fudge.
Yeah, it's a cool place to go visit and spend the afternoon.
Everyone was surprised because I hadn't been there before, but I'm so happy that I got to go. Everyone was like, "You're from Ontario. You should be able I'd expect that you have gone, but I didn't." So it was really sweet to see the falls because I think that stuff's really pretty and amazing, and it kind of puts you in awe too, because it's so big and you're so small.
We brought the Newfoundland weather with us, though.
Yeah.
That day it was windy and cold and drizzly.
Yeah.
Well, the beauty about all of these team bonding experiences is you guys get a chance to see each other outside of the basketball court, to kind of get to know each other on a different level, and I think it's awesome. So you guys, hopefully you guys can keep doing all these fun things, and it'll lead to certain, things on the basketball court, hopefully.
We did do a scavenger hunt earlier in the year with Carolyn, Becky, Emma Mensa, and I. We organized a scavenger hunt for the girls to go on, and it was the very beginning of the season when, we have a lot of new girls, so it's a lot of fresh faces, and we thought it'd be a good idea to have some bonding time with everyone. I remember a couple years ago when it was our second year, Marika, Megan Robinson, and Cleopon, they all organized one for us to do, so we thought we'd do one too. And
it's just kind of be like a tradition.
Yeah, it was fun because people go in their different cars, and then they have to do certain things like help a stranger out, or take a picture with a man with a beard, or go find the Newfoundland dogs downtown, things like that. And they had to take pictures of everything they did. So it's a fun way for everyone to be silly and be themselves in front of everyone.
That's really neat.
Yeah.
I in my 3 years, we never did anything like that. That's awesome, honestly.
Yeah.
So moving on, because we have less than 20 minutes here on the show, aside from all of these amazing team building exercises that you guys have been doing, I want to talk a little bit about how you prepared for this season. So for those that don't know, your team lost its entire starting lineup last year due to either graduation or those that for personal reasons just didn't make it back to the team. As well, you had some coaching controversy. It's another thing that you have to deal with, but I don't want to ask you about that. Rather, I'd like to talk about how your team has responded to the new coaching change that you have, new head coach Mark English. And just quickly for our listeners who are listening, Mark English is a native of Branch, Newfoundland, and former assistant coach at Lakehead University, where his men's squad finished second in the country just 2 years ago. Last year, former head coach of the University of Prince Edward Island, where his female squad got to a second place finish in the AUS. As well, he played for the Seahawks 2005 to 2008, 10 years ago, in fact. So with all of this experience under his belt, Carolyn, what are your thoughts on your new coach?
It's been good. It's been good so far. It's a huge adjustment. New experiences, new strategies, new priorities, lots of new stuff, but it's really good. I'm excited about the year. Also, a lot of fresh faces. We have a lot of rookies and stuff. So everything is new. He's really good. He's really positive, and I think that the team is responding really well to that. So he's also big on team building, which is why we talked so much about all the fun team building stuff that we've done, but it is really something that's important, and that will reflect, I hope, in our games and stuff like that, because you obviously have to know each other on a certain level to be able to, give them that good pass that they, score off of, and trusting each other, knowing where they're going, things like that will really help. Also, we have 2 assistant coaches who are really good. I'm really happy that Kim and Kelsey, so Kim Devson, who I played with my first year, and Kelsey Daly, I'm so excited for them to be our assistant coaches too, because they're just really smart. It's good to have them around, and they're both really great people, and it's a nice supportive group, and I'm excited. Should be fun.
Without giving away too much of the juice, of the details, Catherine, just explain to us a little bit about your team's new playing style that we'll be seeing this year? If there's any differences that we'll notice from last year?
Well, completely different offense. Everything is different that way. We are learning a different way of playing team defense. That has been a big adjustment for us. It's almost like we're back in our first year learning how to play as a team again, but it's a different way of playing a team defense. Besides that,
We don't have a post.
we don't really have
Like a huge, big
a solid
post.
post. We don't have a big presence in the
We
post.
miss Tiana. She was on
Yeah,
our team last year.
Tiana
We miss
Brown.
her.
Shout out to Tiana Brown if you're
Yeah.
listening.
Shout out.
But yeah, we don't have a big presence in the post, but we do have a really quick team. That's what you'll be able to see once you watch us play. We are really good in the front court and making teams sweat a bit, I think, when they have the ball in their hands. We have a couple of really quick girls that are good at intercepting passes, so that will be lots of help for the season.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So on your team right now, there are 9 players, including yourselves, who are from Ontario.
Team O.
And I just want to know a little bit more about how the recruiting process generally works, considering that most of your team is from out of province, one even from Europe, in Germany. Just give us a little bit of insight of how that whole process works of getting recruited and coming to a brand new university. Carolyn, let's go to you.
I feel like all the experiences are different with how you get recruited, maybe specifically. I'm sure they all have general things, but for me, it was really just a phone call. It was just, like I said, it was word of mouth kind of from my mom's friend to the coach. The recruit trip is always fun. That's good because you get to come and see, and that's really too where you can decide if you could see yourself fitting with the team. And I found that when I came on my recruit trip, seeing the team play, that's when I decided that I could come here because I saw the way the team was, and I genuinely thought that I could contribute in some way or another to the team. So I think for the recruiting, if you are a recruit, I think that's a big thing, is if you're able to see yourself with the team or in helping them out somehow, then it would be a good bet, I'd say. I don't know.
Having spent the past 4 years here in St. John's and at Memorial University, Katherine, how has the experience been treating you personally as an Ontario native? What's it been like?
It's been fun. Everything's been fun. No, it's been a really good experience. It's nice going from... I find it's very more laid back and slower pace here in Newfoundland than it is at home. At home, it's very fast paced and it's a go, go, go kind of culture. But here, it's very laid back. People are very nice. I've been welcomed into so many different people's homes, and I feel part of the family when I'm there. It's been a really, really great experience. I've got to know a lot of great people, great families. It's just overall, I'm really happy that I made the decision to come here. It's been a really great experience, and I've always wanted to go away and travel somewhere. So this is a good start to be out here in Newfoundland on the east coast of Canada. With
not too much time left, I want to move. Maybe we got a little bit carried away with our conversation, but I want to move into your performances last weekend and generally your preseason in general. So last weekend you were in Kingston, Ontario, as I mentioned before. You played 3 games against 3 very good teams in the OUA, but finished 0-3. So, no, but it should be mentioned that you 2 of the games, they were very tight games, and there's a lot of things that your team is building on, and it's working. It's a transition sort of period for you. And I just want to know very quickly on the game on Thursday against the Carleton Ravens, you had built up a lead. You guys had a tough third quarter, and there were some ups and downs. What's it like being in that sort of a situation where you have a lead, you don't? How do you get yourself back into it? Katherine, could you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, at first it's frustrating, of course, because you come out of the half with a 17-point lead, and you start losing it slowly through the third quarter.
Quickly.
You start losing it. So... at first, I don't think we realized how quickly we were losing that lead until we realized, I think that's when we really gave ourselves a kick in the butt to get going. It's unfortunate that we couldn't pull off the win after that, but, it's a learning process, right? We're just figuring out how to work as a team, and coming out of the half is probably one of our weaknesses at this point. We've learned that, so we need to work on that as a team. And it's, in a way, it's a positive that we've realized that now in preseason, so that we're aware of it when season comes.
Very well said. Throughout the weekend, your teammates Shante Clark, Sydney Stewart, Sydney Ezekiel all posted games on the score sheet with plus 20 points. In fact, Sydney was named a tournament all-star for her consistent play throughout the entire weekend. What type of impact and vitality to your team do these three players have, Carolyn, in your opinion?
Lots of offensive contribution from all of them. They can all get to the paint very easily. Shantae's got some nice long strides when she goes into her layups. And they're really good at scoring for sure. Also on defense, I mean, like both Sid and Stu are really good at stealing the ball. Sydney Ezekiel especially, like when you least expect it. Like in practice, you got to watch out. So they're all great players, and they're going to be like key in hopefully winning a lot of games this year.
Now, granted, it's more than a three-man show. It's a 12-person effort. And this is what your head coach had to say about the weekend. Overall, this trip had many positives. We're learning to play as a unit and play a full 4 quarters. I think preseason is this preseason was very tough, playing against a number of highly ranked teams that will prepare us extremely well for the regular season. Katherine, could you elaborate on how the preseason in general really does help prepare you for the regular season?
Yeah, well, our first tournament when we did a bit of a tour in Ontario, playing our first games as a team was kind of an eye-opener. Personally, I wasn't expecting us to play the way we did. I think we played better than most of us expected. So that was a good thing for us to go into our next games. Because preseason really prepares you to like work out the kinks in your game. So you see where you're going wrong on defense, you see where you're going wrong in your offense, and you also see the positives, and you can build up on those positives. So preseason, yes, it would be good for us to win more games in preseason, but from the games that we played 7 games against 7 hard, like solid teams. So now we know the level that we're at, and we know where we can go from here and how we can apply it to our season. It's just a really good learning experience for everyone as a team, learning how to work together during a game experience, because it's different when you're in practice.
Totally different. Completely
different when you're in practice compared when you're in a game situation.
Your team opens up the regular season at home against the St. Mary's Huskies on the weekend of November 7th and the 8th. Without revealing too much, Carolyn, could you tell us a little bit about how your team is preparing for that opening weekend matchup? Or if any, sometimes teams put the focus on themselves rather than others. Without revealing too much, could you tell us a little bit about that?
We'll start with trying to improve on the things that we learned from preseason. So I know rebounding personally, and as a group, that's like a big thing that we're gonna have to really improve on, which we're totally capable of. So we just gotta focus. Also, playing the third quarter is going to be a big thing. So those by themselves aren't really specific to St. Mary's, but for the season, those are things that we're definitely going to be looking to improve on. And I don't know much of the personnel yet for St. Mary's. We'll obviously watch, usually the week leading up to, we practice specific plays that they run, how we're going to defend them. So we'll be doing all of that next week, I suppose. And and look at game tape as well, because game tape is always really helpful. So
I guess with just not so much time left, about 6 minutes, I'll ask one last question. I know it may be a difficult one, but try and answer it the best that you can. Depending on the program of education that most student athletes take, they end up staying at the university for 4, maybe 5 years to finish their program. With both of you in your 4th years, will we be seeing you potentially here at Memorial this time next year, or is this the last time that many folks in Newfoundland will be able to see you on the basketball court? Katherine, I'll throw it to you.
That's all up in the air for me still. I can graduate after my 4th year. but I have not yet decided if I want to come back for a 5th year. I'm going to see how this year goes. We've been really happy with how it's been starting and the team dynamic that we have. So if that continues and if I am hungry for more at the end of the year, then I'll see how a 5th year looks for me.
She will be staying. I'll just confirm that. She's got another year. I will, yes, be playing and going to school next year here. I stretched my course load out so that I can play for 5 years. So I'm going to play for 5 years as much as I can because basketball's fun.
No, really, it's a very special thing. And folks, if you want to go back and see one of my past interviews with one of the great soccer players of our time here at Memorial, Teddy O'Rourke, he had a very, very compelling, little bit of time that he was speaking about what it is to play a full 5 years and how special that sort of thing is. And I talk about it every time I have veteran, student athletes here on the show. And I just want to say, from me, as a fan and someone who's played the game and didn't get to go all the way, if you can, go for it, because it's something that not too many people get a chance to say. So
You only have 5 years.
Yeah, that's the thing that was stressed a lot.
Yeah.
Is it's one of the only things in life that there is a strict deadline. You have 5 years of eligibility. It's not anymore.
Yeah.
So if you want to play for 5 years, play for 5 years, aka Kat, stay.
Well, with that, I want to give you guys just a moment. If there's any shout outs, any last minute things that you'd like to say, because we have about 4 minutes left. And I want to just give you the floor here very quickly for a moment, each of you, if you have the time. Or if you have anything to say.
Shout out to Marika, obviously.
Yeah, I think my sister's going to be listening.
Oh, true.
Marika, shout out, hey. Shout out to Mark English for whoop whoop for asking Carolyn and I to do this.
And like all of the players who we played with, I feel like there's like so many to name, but Kim Devison, Grace,
Allie Forsey,
Kalia,
Emily
Sam
Jameson.
Kavanaugh. Yeah, we could go on for a long
We can
time.
keep going.
Amanda, Nancy. So like shout out to them because they all have given us. Well, yeah, they all gave me different tidbits of what it's like to be a Memorial athlete, and like I actually learned something from each of them. Very different, but something from everyone. So shout out to them. Shout out to our team. See you at practice in 15 minutes. No, not 15, don't worry. It's like an hour.
We got practice at 7 tonight.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, from me, thank you very much for being here. It's been a pleasurable experience. I'm just going to give some last minute words and yeah, so thank you once again for just coming by and giving up a little bit of your guys' time.
Thanks, Theo.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Okay, folks, well, that about wraps it up here for the Varsity Life. I'd like to thank CHMR Radio Station for making this show possible. If you guys would like to get involved with University Radio, CHMR is the place to go. They offer students free hands-on training in all the basics of news writing and broadcasting. Training sessions are typically held at the first month of each semester, so for more information, go to www.chmr.ca. Additionally, I'd like to thank Memorial Varsity Athletics for putting me in contact with these two outstanding student athletes. I'd like to thank Carolyn Adams and Katherine Vanden for giving me just a little bit of their time here today and coming on the show. I know they have a busy schedule, but greatly appreciated. For more details about the women's basketball team as well as all varsity sports at Memorial University, go to www.goseahawks.ca. You can follow the Seahawks on Facebook at Memorial Seahawks and on Twitter at Mun Athletics. Just before you leave, I'd like for you guys to know that I'll be back next Thursday, October 29th, with up-to-date Seahawk news and student-athlete interviews. Be sure to give Varsity Life a like on Facebook, as well as find us on YouTube for our past episodes. And finally, congratulations must be given out to the Liberal Party of Canada on winning a majority on this past Monday's federal election. Not only was it a major upset for Justin Trudeau, but he somehow has been finding a way to stay in the news by the way of a debate on whether or not he's the sexiest politician in the world. Not quite sure. I'll leave that for all of you to decide. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Varsity Life on 93.5 CHMR FM. I'm Theo, and I'll see you next week.